Hello everyone, it's I, Wacky Anime What If here. Sorry about the fact I wasn't uploading for a while, but I'm back. And also, I've come up with What If Deku had the SCP Quirk Part 5, the redo. Now let's go ahead and get into it. POV, Dr. Bright. So the areas that random SCPs from the facility keep disappearing to seems to be somewhere in Japan, more specifically Mustafa, Japan, and has been spread out around certain areas in that vicinity. I'm curious as to what is summoning them, and why exactly. So is everyone else in the SCP Foundation, as they are hunting for the SCP that has been causing this, but they weren't able to determine the position because our tracker was destroyed some time ago because of an unfortunate incident. They were more focused on the last few containment breaches we have had since apparently the summoned SCPs that randomly disappear without any sort of notice whatsoever. Like, they just pop out of existence and back into existence randomly. They do not reappear back in their cells, unfortunately, but somewhere else in the facility. Unlucky enough, usually near me. Flashback. Currently, I'm heading to the bathroom. I should have knew not to trust Alto when he said he would make the tacos for Taco Tuesday. Motherfucker, I don't know what he did, but this is worse than Chipotle. I immediately start sprinting into the bathroom, kick a stall door open, and was about to use the bathroom until I blinked once and SCP-682, the unkillable fucking lizard itself, popped into existence, crushed the toilet, and stared directly at me. And I blinked one more time before literally getting the shit scared out of me when I saw him. Which, good news, I didn't have to use the restroom anymore. Bad news, I'm definitely fucked, is what I think in my head. Which I was correct. Later on, SCP-682 would proceed to kill me, and we had to get him contained. It took almost an entire 4 days to contain him. Man, I should just resign. Unfortunately, I cannot. Flashback over. Then there was the time when the tickle monster popped into existence in the tracker room where we use a device to track SCP's energy output so we can locate them. Flashback. Currently me, Alto, and some of the other doctors and researchers are in the tracker room trying to find out where the randomly disappearing SCPs are going by tracking their energy output, until all of a sudden, in the middle of the room, the tickle monster spawned into existence. I noticed it had cookie crumbs near its mouth and got on the ground. So did Alto, and we are glad we did, as he started bouncing off of every single wall in the room, hitting every control panel and monitor, destroying them effectively, before hitting the tracking device itself and immediately destroying it, crushing into little bits, as well as the device being destroyed. It bounced around, hit a few people, knocking them unconscious. Then one unlucky guy who ended up standing up at the wrong time, all of a sudden, was known as the One Nut Wonder, as SCP-999 was in literally a ball format while he's bouncing around and hit him directly in the nuts like a cannonball. I feel bad for him since he won't be having any kids soon. But, all in all, I'd say this isn't the worst containment breach that happened. I mean, at least it was with a safe SCP. After all, we just had to wait till he got tired out, and then he just fell asleep in the middle of the room, and we just took him to his cell. It took in half an hour for him to get tired out, though, and everything by then was destroyed. So we can't really locate the new SCP. Flashback over. Currently, I'm booking a flight to Mustafa, Japan. It took me an incredibly long time to find out where he was from the previous, energy outputs that I managed to have on my desk already. Because I was the first one that it was reported to, I would like to see the SCP myself, without the Foundation being involved, since they like to ruin my fun. After all, they would just interrupt it interrupt my fun, and I just can't have that, especially Alto. He always interrupts when I try to sell my cage fight tickets for SCBs beating the shit out of each other. It was such fun entertainment. POV, Izuku. Currently I'm outside of UA, about to head inside, until I start having second thoughts. What if I'm not good enough? What if my efforts are for nothing? What if I'm not hero material? No, don't think like that. I haven't even tried yet. Plus, I promised Mina that I would get into the hero course with her. And Mr. Deeds, the Tickle Monster, and my mom believe in me. I can do this, I think, and change my anxiety-filled face to one of confidence, until I trip over a pebble and faceplant. As I did and tried to get up, someone slammed their foot into the back of my head and forced it back down hard enough for my forehead to start bleeding as it was imprinted into the ground, and for me to start feeling intense pain along with some anger. Then I hear a voice which makes my anger flare more and more, making it borderline uncontrollable by just hearing his repulsive voice as he says, "Deku, the hell do you think you're doing? Attempting to get into UA. You just don't seem to know your place. It's lucky for you. I happen to have put you right in it, right beneath me." As Bakugo says this, he presses his foot down more, pressing my face deeper into the concrete. I get furious, so I put my arm behind me, grab his foot and lift it off my head and throw it to the side. I look around to see a crowd formed. I also notice the security cameras and smile a bit, seeing them. And then say, "Bakugo, you know you just assaulted me in public, right? In front of UA property. Now, does that seem hero-like, assaulting a person for no reason? Want to see my impression of you?" I do an angry expression and style my hair similar to Bakugo, and start immediately saying, "Get out of my way, extra. I'm Bakugo Katsuki, biggest bitch boy ever. With such a small dick, I'm able to fuck Cheerios. It's why I take out my anger on others. Hey you, I don't like your face. I'ma punch it." I believe that impression is quite spot on. Don't you all agree? Everyone starts bursting out laughing. Unfortunately, I immediately say, "Unfortunately, I don't have enough time for you. I don't have enough time for clowns today." As I say this, I start to walk away, leaving a crowd of laughing people behind me with a furious Pomeranian, having steam come directly out of his ears. I start to chuckle a little bit as I walk away and walk directly into the UA building and go to the written portion room. The room for the written exam. As I walk in, everyone else immediately starts to enter around 5 minutes later, including a red-faced Bakugo with veins coming out the side of his head. I decide to mess with him some more. I reach into my pocket and make sure I'm in the blind spot of the cameras, as well as make sure Present Mike isn't looking at the moment, and throw a Snickers bar at him, with a note attached to it. POV, Bakugo. Can't believe that fucking Deku dare embarrass me. The great Bakugo, ouch. The fuck did I get hit with? That interrupted my monologue. I look down and pick up a Snickers, and read the note attached to it. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. My face feels like it's on fire, and I start using my quirk and scream, "Who the fuck threw a Snickers at me?" POV, Izuku. I can't help it but start to burst out laughing. So does everyone else, including Present Mike. After a few minutes, we all calm down, and Present Mike hands out the tests, and I finish it in 15 minutes. So I walk forward towards Present Mike and hand him the test. He asks, "Is there something wrong?" I just say, "I finished." Then his jaw is just wide open, dropping to almost the desk in shock, with the goofiest face I have ever seen in my life. I chuckle a little as I make my way to the practical exam area and take a seat. Time skip, 2 hours later. Currently everyone finally finished, and I've been just reading the pamphlet the entire time, as well as playing with the tickle monster, who I summoned an hour ago. I unsummoned him as I saw everyone taking their seats. After all, I don't want them to freak out that there's an orange blob just randomly sitting next to me and is trying to tickle people. As I see he's trying to tickle someone before I unsummon him. I unsummon him before he could reach someone to tickle them. That person should be thanking me that he's not a victim of the tickle monster. As immediately I start to chuckle a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I start to hear some yelling. I see a knockoff wannabe Sonic literally start to raise his hand and start spouting some bullshit I didn't want to hear. Until he pointed towards me and said, "You don't seem to be paying attention to Present Mike's explanation or taking this exam seriously, so please just leave if you're not going to take it seriously." I look at him while being livid. A Sonic knockoff just said I wasn't taking the entrance exam to a school which I have dreamed to go to since I was a kid. I have trained blood, sweat, and tears just to get this chance. Not for someone to just up and say to leave. So I look at him with a hard glare and say this: I'm not taking this seriously because I happen to not want to hear you screaming. I'm not taking this seriously when I put my blood, sweat, and tears into training for just a chance to get here. Is that what you are saying? Plus, I read the pamphlet, which gives every single detail about the physical part of the exam, even the 0-pointer that President Mike was about to explain. So, why don't you, Karen, go outside, find the nearest coffee store, and ask for their manager? Because with how you seem to jump to conclusions, your life is just not for you. So why don't you go fuck off, Karen? I said this with a furious glare and a serious voice, while trying to hold back my anger enough to not accidentally cause a massacre. Everyone was either snickering at what I said to rip off RoboCop, or silent, while the rip-off RoboCop was embarrassed and sat down while President Mike continued explaining the exam. Right after we were all sent to individual buses to different testing sites, I was sent to test site D. As we arrived, I stepped off the bus to see metal doors in front of us. And then I end the video here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button and destroy that subscribe button. I'll see you all next time, and I'm sorry that I didn't change the thumbnail. I honestly was just focusing on making the script and I didn't have time to change it, along with getting a new laptop and setting up my mic setup. I hope you all can forgive me for that, but anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day, and see you all next time.